can't get this thing. It is for now.
I have a phone.
I'm just curious to see if she got it in 30 years. I'm gonna have a twist. It's not working. No, too many windows open.
But it's okay for me to offer.
As long as she hasn't had, yeah, as long as she hasn't had any assistance in the past 3 years. And do you not have the financial aid by types of assistance? All right, let me show you something. And it helps you understand. Yeah, you know what? It's on my drive that I don't have with me. Okay, so go to WRK Solutions. No.
Do you need to move your numbers up? I said,
What do you say?
yeah, it's weird. That's not much better.
Oh, he lost all his. Did he do that again?
Yes.
WRK.
He did on the wrong team.
Oh man, I should have got my mattress. Why isn't it? All right, so
Well, he bid that. Not what LA was like the other team.
yeah, the Bengals. Now, so if people bought mattresses,
And the Bengals were one.
ah,
Got free. But anyway, he was saying he lost like it was a bad. He lost $9
million. So in other words, everyone who bet on the Rams got their mattress for free because they were the winners, and that's what I wanted to do. So works WRK Solutions coming up either. Oh. Anyway, there is an issuance that tells you how much you can. Do we not have internet at all? Oh, here it is.
I was thinking like what?
Okay. I always go here and I go to issuances. Yeah. These are all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's 1706, so it would be 2007. This is usually at this. Oh no, that's not it. It's
Yeah, well,
financial aid by types of, tell me the 1706. Finding financial aid, no, scholarships.
You're so sweet. You give me so much.
Oh, I love
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Anna. Hi, Janine. Oh, you're muted. Ann. Oh, there you go.
Here we go. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Happy Valentine's Day. I see one red sweater out there. Very festive.
Wait till I turn my camera on. No,
Okay. Oh,
I'm ready.
oh, another pink. I did not get festive. I apologize. Okay. Share my screen. So our icebreaker today is interactive. I know it might be hard. I don't know if anybody saw the agenda beforehand. But Richard on our planning team had the idea to select the third oldest picture you have and either use it as your profile or share in the chat and then describe it if you would like to. We thought might be some cute ones, some funny ones. Richard, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what you share.
But it should show up as my profile picture, does it?
Oh, yes. Okay. So who is this?
Well, that's actually my wife. She happened to be the number 3 picture, and it was on a trip that we had taken from Santa Fe to Taos, and we just stopped at this little place for breakfast, and she was sitting across from me, and there she is. She's also my Valentine.
Very sweet. Aw.
That's so sweet, Richard.
So she's the one that actually puts up with me on a daily basis.
All right. Well, we want to give a special shout out to your wife then.
Yeah, she deserves it. I am not easy.
I'm just kidding. Let's see. Is anybody sharing so far? I might have to share through my phone
Nope.
in the chat.
No takers in the chat as of yet. Let's see.
Okay. Okay, I have a good one. We are sharing, if you are able to, the third picture back that you've taken on your phone, and you can share it as your profile, or if you want to copy it into the chat, and if you want to give a little synopsis of what that picture is.
Trying to find mine now. I think none of mine I should share on the fact that it may incriminate me. Please no. Let me find a decent one.
Oh, wow. We have Troy Reynolds. His son is on deployment. So, wow.
Oh, wow.
Thank you to your son. And where's he deployed? Wonderful. Okay, so he's back now. Good. That's very good to hear.
I guess if that was his third picture, older picture, it was a while back, so that's good.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I'm sorry.
I bet he has a lot of stories. I'm glad he's back home. Okay. Let's see if I
This
shared a
is
picture of
good.
my dog. I don't know if it came up or not.
Oh, let's see. No, she didn't come up.
Oh man. Huh. Well, we can always try this again too. Anybody else have changed their profile picture? Maybe she's thinking. Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, Bobby Cook having fun somewhere.
Picture. Look at that.
I can't remember when, and I don't remember where, but when it took me that long to scroll back in my pictures to find the third oldest. So.
Oh, cute. And that's your Valentine as well?
Yes, that's my husband, who is my Valentine.
Okay, I'm trying to get mine to load. It's not loading yet, but I did find one that I can share. It's a sweet one though.
Okay. Well, let's see. Looks like we have a good group here today. We have a little over 50 people participating, so we'll go ahead and get started and can check back in that chat box for people who are uploading pictures. Always fun to see what people are doing out there. Oh, I see another one from Miss Gloria Flowers. Looks like something fun outside. But yeah, we will get started. Today we are talking about college services and resources. We have quite a few people who will be sharing with us. Miss Annabelle Hernandez, your Valentine, your husband, in 31 years. Congratulations. So we will go ahead and get started. One of our guests can only be here at the beginning, so we'll get her started so that she can go ahead, and she has another meeting at the same time. And at the end, we can check back on those pictures. Just as usual, these are all of the school districts. I think we're updated. If you don't see your school district on here or your college, please go ahead and enter that in the chat. We'll make sure to update that as well. We did have some new ones that were added this last time. I think we included every single one, but definitely let us know if you don't see your school district on there. All right, and so we will get started with Miss Chantel. Are you?
Yes, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, hi, I am Chantal Brissett. I'm sorry, I have another meeting that I have to get to, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to be the first one. And well, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the program that we have here at SHSU. We call it the Forward Thinking program. It was named like this a few years ago because we just found that our students on campus, they don't like to be, I guess, pointed at sometimes, and so we didn't want to, or my supervisor, I've only been working here for a year now, but when they renamed the program, they tried to rename it into something that's just a very general name and everything to just keep their privacy for students. So it is called the Forward Thinking Program. For short, we just call it the Forward Program. So the mission, I mean, of course, I'm sure you can all relate to this. It's just to empower these students and having meaningful relationships and start really networking and through their college years with everyone here on campus, and to help them when they graduate to just keep moving forward and really using that, that degree for good and for their future. So I don't want to read the whole thing so I don't bore you, but yeah. So what the Forward program provides for students here on campus, of course, we need to start working with them before or right after they apply and they get accepted. It's the best time to reach out to us and really help them make sure that they fill out all the paperwork they need to be able to get access to the things that they can access through the Forward program. So some of these things are information and resources. Like I said, Dr. Kay Angrove, which is my supervisor, she is the liaison for SHSU. And it's just a great contact. Just to contact her direct, they can contact me, and then I help her out, just reaching out to the students and everything, which my information will be in the last slide. But she is the liaison on campus. We also send out a bi-monthly, I'm sorry, my tongue is getting old, bi-monthly newsletter to the students directly and also to our committee here on campus. And in these newsletters, it's an email. It's basically like a mass email that goes out to the students that are part of the program. And in the newsletter, we change the information every 2 weeks. We'll add important like food pantry distributions. The campus has a food pantry for students. It's completely free. It's also for staff or faculty, whoever needs it. And so we let them know like where they can go or who they can call or when the distribution times are. We also have a thrift store on campus that's free, and we talk to them about that. We just put different resources on the newsletter. We also remind them about, applying for FAFSA or applying for graduation and just important dates like that. We also have added a YouTube in our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, and so we have a link in that newsletter where they can go. And we know a lot of people they'll prefer to watch a video than read through a newsletter, so we have that option. Of course, we have academic support. That's something that we have for everyone on campus, every student. And but we do have here, our office is inside the Academic Success Center here on campus. And this is where the tutors and peer mentors can be found. So academic tutors, like student workers that focus on helping students in math, physics, chemistry, whatever class they need, we have them almost all covered. But we also have peer mentors. Peer mentors are basically like student tutors, but they focus more on like the non-academic things that a lot of times students need help with, like, hey, I have issues on applying for a scholarship, or can you help me learn how to manage my time? I have all these classes and I just feel like I don't have enough time for homework. Can you help me organize my week, my schedule, stuff like that? So of course we have those peer mentors for the Forward students who can actually one-on-one privately talk about their situation if they need help with anything on top of the academic stuff. We have scholarship for cats. Scholarship for cats is something that's open to every student. There's tons of different scholarships on there that Bearcats can apply to, and there's a couple that focus for the Forward students. So if these students, a little bit, and in another slide, I'm going to talk about how they can get into the Forward program, which is by through their FAFSA, they need to choose that option where it says that they have been in foster care or anything like that, and so automatically they get put into like this bucket of for us to be able to see that they can be in the Forward program. And if they go in and apply to that scholarship, the cool thing about scholarship for cats is they only have to apply once to all of them. It's just like one general application. And then depending on their situation on their FAFSA, it automatically sends them notifications of like which scholarships can apply to them, if that makes sense. So there is a lot of scholarship opportunities, and those are just the scholarships on campus. Of course, they have access to faculty and staff, and we can be that kind of intermediate point. A lot of times it can be a little intimidating to reach out to a professor or a staff member. So we are always here to help these students kind of walk through that. The university also offers free break housing. So this is something kind of new that they started doing during COVID. And it's a really great opportunity because students that that are part of the forward program can actually stay in the dorms. They usually get priority to get dorms during the semester. But then when it's the winter break or the summer break, they can actually stay in the dorms and they don't have to leave like all the other students. So there's just a process to make sure that they have the room for them and everything, but they do get that great opportunity that not everybody does. So, and finally, something that we do offer is a graduation package. So this is something that we help with directly with the help of other departments on campus. And if a student is part of the forward program, they just fill out this really simple form, and we give them their cap and gown, their stole, a free graduation photo shoot on campus, and a photo of when they receive their diploma during graduation. And they also get a reimbursement for their graduation application fee. So this is something that we do when they do get to the end of that road. And so these are just samples I put on there. I know that's a horrible still of me, but so this is just a sample of the YouTube video and a sample of the newsletter that we send out bi-monthly, like I mentioned. And so how do I become part of the forward program? Like I mentioned before, the first thing is that when students fill out their FAFSA, to make sure that they do put on there that they've been either in foster care, or ward of the court, or even a homeless student. And so it's very important for them to check that box. And then they need just to get, if they have the tuition and fee waiver, and then to make sure to get that to the financial aid office and the cashier's office. Like I said, a lot of times if students are coming from high school and they don't know, who to talk to or how to get these, the waiver or anything done or where to take it, they can always just email me or call me directly and I can help them with that, because I know it can be a little intimidating not knowing where to go. And then the last step would be to contact us anyways. So they can contact us, email us, call us, just to make sure that they get in the program. But that's something that we do anyway. After the 12th day of school, every semester, we get these lists of all the people that did choose in their FAFSA, like I said, the option that they were in foster care or anything like that. And then we email them the newsletters. But if there is a student that knows that, could be in this category and maybe they didn't get our email or anything like that, they can always just email us, come by in person, or call us, and we can make sure that they become part of the forward program. So these are just some options about like how to get help to pay for college. Like I said, of course, FAFSA, your state tuition fee, the education, ETVs, vouchers, scholarships, the SHSU scholarships, which is the scholarships for cats, and then of course tons of outside scholarships. And these are usually the ones that we put on the newsletters, like every month, or there'll be like some new ones that pop up, and we make sure to put links and everything to make it easy for them to apply to these scholarships. And so, like I mentioned before, I don't want to read the whole slide. I'm sure y'all know what these are. This is a presentation that a lot of this information we use for when we're recruiting students. So that's why it has a little bit of this information on there for some of them that might not know about it. But yeah, just making sure that the waivers are sent to financial aid and the cashier's office. That's a very important step. So there is proof of the student's eligibility. And then the Student Money Management Center, that's a very important department on campus to have contact with even before a student comes to college and during, of course. And they have their direct phone number on there if anyone wants to take note of that, and their email. But we can also be an if they don't want to call them directly, we can help them with that. And they really help students just kind of travel through all the uncertainty when it comes to paying for college and all of these things that I mentioned before. They really sit down. Students can even make appointments with them where they go and sit down one-on-one and they go over their finances, they go over, okay, well, why haven't you can apply to these scholarships, or how much money are you actually getting? Are you needing? What have you accepted? They really sit with them and go like step by step and making sure that they get all the money that they can get and all the help that they can get to pay for college and make sure they have everything settled. And so the free break housing, which I mentioned before a little bit, there's their direct phone number and their email as well. And I'm not going to go over it again, but yeah, it's a really great opportunity. And something to remember is that our committee members for the Forward program, it's basically at least one person of each department of most of the departments on campus. So when students come to campus and they go to any office on campus, usually there'll be at least one person in that office, like the residence life office or the money management office or the registrar's office. And there's going to be at least one person that is part of our committee. So they'll know specific information for the Forward students that maybe somebody else in the office might not know. So that's why we really strive to have at least one person of each department in our committee. So this is just something that we always mention to every student, like I said, about like the scholarships too. And the Univ 1101 Learning Frameworks, I know that's kind of long title. It's a class that is offered to all freshman students to just kind of help them learn how to navigate through college. And so they have a lot of really cool classes like on time management or reading, or they learn about different resources on campus, things like that. And it's a really helpful class. And it's just something that we like to mention to students, like to encourage them to do it, because it does happen in their first semester, and it's something that's going to really help them in the long run. And so another resource that we have also for Forward students, but for any student, is applying for careers here, work jobs here on campus. And for that, you just go to Bearcats Get Hired and through Handshake. They just fill out an application. There's a lot of opportunities on there, and this just helps students in general, because that way they're on campus already, they go to class, they come to work, things like that. So this is just a list of some of the campus resources that I was kind of mentioning already. A lot of our committee members are in these offices, like I said, and this is just to give you an overall idea. And so this is our contact information. The Academic Success Center, that's the office where we work at, like I mentioned, where tutors are and everything, and where we are located inside the library, the NGL library here on the main campus in Huntsville. That's the front desk phone number, and then the contact, the Forward contact, that's my email, my phone, my direct line. And if y'all want to visit the website, I know I was talking a little bit fast, but if you want to go back and kind of like look at the website, you can scan that QR code and just check out more information. So if there's any questions, please feel free to ask away.
All right. Thank you, Chantel. That was a lot of great
Yes.
information. I don't know, Aurelia, do you see any questions in the chat box, or does anybody want to come off mic and ask any questions?
I do not see any questions in the chat at the moment.
Okay. I really love the break housing. That seems like a really cool and a really nice option for student.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, if we get more questions after this, Chantel, we will pass them along with you or connect them to you. I know that you have a busy schedule and need to move on. So thank you so much for your time today, and we will see you next month, hopefully.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All righty, so moving on, we have Lone Star College. So Miss Annabelle is with us.
Hi, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes. can hear you,
Okay.
cannot see you. Are you not on
Let
camera?
me see. Hold on. I see, I'm trying to share because I've never shared.
Okay.
So I click on share.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see my screen that I'm wanting to share. Where is that? Is it this one? This is yours. Maybe not. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, and you can hear me?
Yes.
And you can see me? Hi,
Mhm.
everyone. Well, good afternoon. My name is Annabelle, and I'm at Lone Star College for the Foster Care Navigators. And our mission for our Foster Care Navigators is to create a group of us at the campuses so that we can help assist our students that come in through foster, adopted, and homeless from beginning to the end. And the way that they are they're put in a group. So the Apply Texas application, there's a question where they self-disclose this information. And so those students are put into an FSTR group. And so that's how we know which students are in that group. And so we try to, each campus advisor, they're responsible for their cohort. So they, throughout the semester, they're helping them, sending them email communication so that way they can stay on top of their studies. This next slide will just give you an overview. So I just started here in June, so I've only been here for a few months. So we have last semester's Faqs. So this was for the fall semester. So in our group of FSTR group, we had 610 last semester in this group. So it kind of gives you here the demographics of our students. Females are 68%, male 32%. And the term credit hours that you see here, this is how many hours they take. So they're all even actually. They're part-time students, and then this is the full-time student status. And then here you can see our head count per campus. So Cypher has the most students. And then Houston North, that one is the smallest one with 27 students. And here you can see that most of our students, the majority of them will be transferring. So they'll be earning their Associate of Arts or just the first 2 years and then transfer into a 4-year university. The top 5 high schools, I was really surprised when I saw this because seeing here that GED and homeschool are the most where our students are coming in from, but yet I have no contacts for these 2 areas. So if you happen to know anyone that's in those areas that can help, I have reached out to our GED director to hopefully get some, but I'm trying to contact the students that are coming in via GED and homeschooling. So that would be great if you have any contacts for me. The tuition and fee waiver, this is per term. So last semester, we, out of the 610 students, only 132 used their adopted waiver, and then only 35 used the foster care waiver. So these numbers are very, very low. And of course, the majority of our students, they don't know that they have this benefit. So we're trying to drill down and ask them these questions to see if they do qualify. Now, recently, one of our navigator at North Harris found out that if a student took a course when they were eligible back, before they were 25, and they passed it, that we can go ahead and retroactivate that waiver, which that I didn't know, but we just recently learned it. So a student was able to start using their waiver this semester. So that's good to know. So we're going to go back and find out, if other students are in that situation, so that way they can activate their waiver as well. Next, this slide kind of shows you all the campuses. We have currently 8 campuses at Lone Star College, all, of course, in the north side. And we also have 13 centers within the campuses. These 2 university centers that you see here, those are, we have 9 partner universities in those 2 centers as well. So we do offer bachelor's degree in those 2. Okay. This is just an overview of Lone Star. So we have over 200 degrees and certificates that we offer over 8 areas of study. So these are just the top degrees that we offer and the top certificates. Course variety, we do offer fall, spring, and summer semesters. And then we also offer a mini-mester in December and a mini-mester in May. So we have multiple sessions during the semester. We have the traditional 16 weeks, but we also offer 14, 12, 8, and 6 weeks, including the mini-mester, which is 3 and 4 weeks, and evening and weekend classes. Currently, we are offering 50% online for courses, and then face-to-face and hybrid is 25. But coming up this summer, we're supposed to go back to our 50% face-to-face. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to go back to the regular shift before pandemic. And then as you can see, most of our kids, most of our students are 19 and under. Hispanic is our largest group, and then with females on top also with the largest group. Programs of study. I'm going to also share with you a list after the meeting is ending. It has all our programs on here, and it lets you know which campus offers that. But I took a picture of this one because I wanted to show you the degrees, the bachelor's degree that we also offer. These 3 right here, energy manufacturing, cybersecurity, and nursing BSN. We offer those as some of our campuses as well. All right, and this is our website. This is our up-to-date, has the latest information on our website. So any time you need to know anything, just feel free to visit our website. It has access to our care program. We have campus pantries, food pantries to help students. And we also have the Women's Center. We have a lot of resources for students. So you can find all those resources here. And in addition to our contact information, you will find that on our website as well. And this is a flyer that we just recently are sharing with anyone who wants information, any student. It gives them their steps to take to become a student at Lone Star College. And then it has my contact information there as well. And these are our campus navigators. So each campus, they have a foster care navigator. So you will see a financial aid navigator and then an academic advisor navigator for each of the campuses. And then at the bottom, you see my contact information. I'm at the system office along with Garth Howard, who is the liaison for Lone Star College. And this information can also be found on our website. Okay, and that's all the information I have. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Annabelle. And is it okay to share this PowerPoint in the recap as well? Okay, great. Yes. So we'll share this, and then the list of degrees that'll be shared as well. It's a larger PDF.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how do I close out of here? Do you just take over?
I think it will let me just. Okay. There we go.
Thank you.
I have a question. This is Perry from CBS. Implied in your statement that passing, does that mean that any youth that has to be passing to receive the tuition waiver from you guys? Is that what you're after the age of 25?
You mean if they passed a college course level under the age of 25, like let's say 20 years ago? if they completed a course, a college level course, before the age of 25, we can go ahead and retroactivate that.
I thought that they didn't have to pass the classes for them to keep the tuition waiver even after 25. Is that a true assumption on my part, or no?
I was under the impression that that was after a certain year that was the case. Is that not the case?
Well, I wanted to make sure. I mean, I could try to check, but from my understanding of what the tuition and fee waiver is, that they just have to take a class under the age of 25, and after the age of 25, even if they didn't pass it, they can still retroactively use the tuition waiver. My question is that, like, does each different college kind of I know that each college kind of has their own policies. Does that mean that you do not allow that?
If they didn't pass the course? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I'm going to have to look into that, because I was under the understanding that they have to pass the course.
Okay, I'll look into it on my side as well, so that we can clarify what, like, the state legislator has.
Definitely.
Okay.
Harry,
Thank you.
Harry, if you could also type that question in the chat, that way we'll make sure to.
I'm actually driving right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to visit a kid, so unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. I will look into that.
All right. Any other questions for Annabelle?
None currently in the chat, Anna.
All right, well, we will keep moving. Next we have San Jacinto College. Is Miss Kimberly on the on the line?
Hello. Good
Hey
to see
there.
everyone.
Let's see.
Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. And we also brought Sade Ballier. She is our accessibility services counselor. And so we're gonna let her share some information, because in a previous meeting, there were a lot of questions about accessibility services. And so we wanted to give her an opportunity to maybe answer some questions and give you general information about accessibility services at the college level. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself as well and let her share some information, and hopefully that will help everyone.
Okay, great.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sade Boye, and I am the Accessibility Services Counselor for San Jacinto College. And I am going to be sharing my screen with you in a few seconds. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So for students who are wanting to seek out accommodations beyond K through 12 level, we usually meet with them and have a conversation with them on how to navigate our accessibility services page. We also kind of talk to them about how those accommodations may differ from high school than college, due to the fact that high school is underneath the IDEA and college is underneath the ADA. So we tried to explain to them that it's going to look a little bit differently, and some of those accommodations that they have received from the K through 12 level will not be able to be done on this side. So we kind of base it off of whatever that student's disability is and what accommodations that student previously had. We kind of go into that spiel of trying to help them kind of understand that. But for us, our application process is 100% online. So when students come to us, this will be the page that we will direct them to. And then we have some basic information here, as well as this video that they are able to watch at their own leisure. One of the most important things for new students is going to be the FAQs, where we kind of go into talking about what is accessibility services. Some students may have questions about, are you going to disclose my disability to the professor? So we kind of tell students that we do not disclose students' disability, and that is not provided on the accommodation letter. However, students may be able to disclose their disability based off of their own individual circumstances, and that will come into the part of how they will become those advocates for themselves. So that may range depending on what that student's disability is and if it is warrant for that student to either provide that to their professors. So we kind of tell students that once they obtain their accommodation letter, they will provide that to their professors, and based off of the accommodation letter, the professors will then provide those accommodations as specified on the letter. And if the professor has like any additional questions or concerns about that particular letter, they can reach out to the accessibility services counselors at each of the different campuses, and we will be able to answer and clarify those questions for the professor. So when we go to the new students, this is a page where they all will go to, and it tells them how to request their accommodations, and they can click here on this link. And then one of the most important things that we kind of talk to them about is the documentation guidelines, because sometimes they get confused about this, about, well, what can I submit with my application? So we kind of provided this information here where they can kind of look and see, okay, well, I have this that's going on, and I have a psychological assessment. So, oh, I can submit this information. Or I have my 504 papers or R papers or IEP papers, because that's oftentimes of how they kind of like identify themselves. And so when they see this, they're like, okay, so I can utilize this. And another question of that kind of goes into, so what are those accommodations? So we tell students that there isn't a particular set of accommodations that we provide. It's based off of an individual case-by-case basis, is specific to their disability. So we are not just looking at just the disability itself, but we're looking at how that student is going to be able to function within the higher education with their classes. So if it's a student that has like a math class or an English class, and based off of their disability, it's going to differ based off of what those accommodations can look like. So some of that may be, they may ask for utilizing a calculator, or they may ask for being able to like sit in the front of the classroom, or even being able to record or have a note taker. So a note taker is something that they are often seen in the higher in the K through 12 level. So sometimes they're like, oh, so I was receiving this where I had a person in my class that was taking notes for me, and or my teacher was providing me her notes that she was having for the class. So we kind of explain to them that note-taking assistance is going to look different from how it looked through the K through 12 level. So this is not an accommodation that professors is going to really be acclimated to. So a note taker will be based off of if someone in that classroom will be willing to share their notes. So to kind of like shy away from the note taker, we kind of look at it from the aspect of being able to allow that student to be able to record the lecture. So now the student has the capability of being able to have the lecture information where they can then either utilize that to be able to write their own notes, so that way they can be successful in the class for themselves on however they identify success. So that's kind of how we talk to students when it comes to accommodations. So accommodations can range from getting extended testing time. It could be for getting extended time on assignments. So it could be interpreting services based off of that student's disability. So we kind of tell them that there is no list where they can just check off an accommodation. Is based off of their disability and the academic classes that they are going to be participating in. And so that's kind of how we look at that makeup and review that documentation along with their disability and their classes. And then we come into a meeting, and then we kind of go over that accommodation, the accommodation letter, as well as whether or not if we provided those accommodations to them or if we denied those accommodations, and the reason for why we denied such an accommodation for the particular student. Any questions or anything?
I wonder, just to kind of piggyback on Perry's question, if y'all have any, like an answer for what he was asking. And you or Kimberly.
When it comes to the waiver?
Right. And
So
Perry,
that-
if you want to go ahead. Sorry.
So that kind of would usually depend on, that's kind of more from the business office. Am I right, Kimberly? The business office kind of makes those decisions. So once the student is underneath that, if the student is going to be eligible for it again, whether or not if they passed or failed, they'll be able to tell them that information on our side. We don't really deal with that aspect of those things. So that would be our business office.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct. We refer them to the business office to submit their paperwork for their waivers.
Okay. All righty. And any questions in the chat, Aurelia?
Anna, this is Rolanda Rushing from the Hayes Center. What is the question about the tuition waiver again?
It was from Perry. Do you want to, are you
It
able
is
to
my understanding. Oh, sorry. It is my understanding that after the age of 25, if the youth has taken any class, they don't actually have to pass the class. They can just use the tuition waiver. Is this a true statement, Ms. Rushing?
Okay, let me start from the beginning. They have to take a 3-hour course utilizing the tuition waiver before their 25th birthday in order to activate the tuition waiver. So the tuition waiver has to be used to pay for the class. That's the way you activate it, but it has to be done before the 25th birthday.
Right. They don't have to pass, right?
We don't tell the kids that. We encourage them to pass, but it doesn't, I don't think it stops them from using it in the future.
That's my understanding, is that like the way that the policy was created, that pass or failure is not a barrier to youth after the age of 25 from utilizing the tuition waiver.
I agree with you. We've had conversations with Dr. Johnson here, our education specialist here, and we don't share that information with the kids because we strongly encourage them to pass.
Oh, definitely. I don't promote it. I'm wondering. I mean, like the conversation was implied in the statement was that Lone Star was looking at the pass or failure of the youth, and then assessing if they were allotting or enabling the tuition waiver. And I know that each college does different things, and I was just wondering if that was standard practice.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I mean, that's a question to the community colleges or any of the
Okay,
colleges, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think Annabelle was going to try and look into that as well. So hopefully she'll be able to email an answer.
I'm sending an email chat to like my coworkers and my supervisor to see if they have clarification on like the policy or the actual legislation and what it says.
Okay.
Because I would hate to have youth. I mean, like after the age of 25 and they want to return to college. I mean, that's a different type of person. And I would hate to, like for them to lose a benefit if it's not like a legislative kind of like mandate for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can understand if it's illegal and they don't actually aren't actually eligible. That's a different. I don't know.
It's a good question because it's making people think. And any other questions? for our San Jacinto? In the box. Oh, I see one more question. So oh, hi, Nedra. How do you reinforce the curriculum learning at home that was provided to parents or guardians at an ARD meeting? And that would be for Miss Sade or Kimberly.
So when it comes to students utilizing accommodations in the online setting, it will look the same way as if the student was coming to school face to face. So for example, if that accommodation is being extended testing time, the way of how the professor is formatting the examination in the online setting, that extended testing time will be added to that student's exam.
All righty, thank you. All right, and we will move on. I don't see any more questions for that one. Alvin Community College, Miss Lily, she's unable to be with us today, but she did want to share her her school information and then her contact information. If anybody has questions, please contact her. And so this will be in the recap after our meeting today. We also wanted to share Houston Community College's student recruiter. I'm not sure if they're able to join us today, Miss Maria. We just found out who the new contact was late last week from Richard, so was a little short notice for her to speak, but just want everybody out there to know who the person would be to contact in regards to questions or services for foster youth out there. All right, so before any other questions in regards to colleges, the waivers, other resources or services? No, well then, oh, is that somebody?
I do have a question, Anna.
Sure.
So I was curious, just from the, I guess, from the prospect of universities, because I know you, I think the representative we have from Sam Houston had to jump off, I know, so I think we just have community colleges on here. How do you find the best way to get the information out to the population of young adults and youth that can take advantage of the fact that they can have, you know, the benefits of going to school and getting their education? What is the best way to kind of circumvent that, or what's your best practices for doing that without being intrusive or, as you say, not taking, I think someone mentioned earlier about still giving them the respect and being able to allow them to have that anonymity, not to say, I am a foster youth, but maybe to come and then ask for that. How do you all work around that? What's the best workaround for that? And anyone can answer that.
Hello.
Well, I
my
can
name's
speak to
Dora
that.
Trevino. I'm one of the counselors at San Jacinto College, and I'm also a foster care liaison. And generally, I think similar to what most of the community colleges are doing is requesting our list from our business office to get that contact list where they're using the waiver, but those are already using it. So what we've been doing is actually doing presentations to our recruitment staff and also our financial aid staff so that we can reach out to those students. In the recruitment aspect, I know how you're saying, like, how do we get to them before they already signed up or, you know, ahead of time? So we're trying to work with the high schools and with our recruitment staff. There's liaison at each high school in collecting their information so that we can reach out to them and connect with our high school, I guess, counterparts, the high school liaison and then the college liaison, and start sending them information of when we're having workshops on campus or any activities on campus so that they can share with their students. So we're not, we're still being sensitive about confidentiality. Like, we don't want a list of your students, but can you share this information with your students? And that way we make that connection early on. Hopefully we're still in the works, so that we don't have updates as far as outcomes yet to report. Currently, Kimberly and I have sent a welcome email to the students that are already using it, to encourage them to also apply for ETV and to let them know that we're there as a resource. We created a welcome kit for them. I think we took that idea from one of y'all that has been doing great things out there. Just, a notebook to get you started, a USB drive, some snacks, water bottle, granola bar, something that to keep you going through the day. Just a few little things from San Jack, maybe a coffee cup, a drink cup with our logo. So something to welcome them and to let them know that we're there for them. So this week, we're expecting them to come in and pick them up. We've sent out our welcome email last week.
Oh, that's great, Dora. I really like that suggestion. I like the idea of the welcome, and then a way also, I think too, maybe that will encourage them to pass it on to other young adults that's in their circle that may not know, or maybe let them know that, it's not that hard if you kind of just reach your hand out. Someone's there to help you. And it seems like that's what that probably does. It gives them an open opportunity to feel welcome to do that. So I like that. Thank you so much for that suggestion.
Good. I saw a hand up. Is that you, Nedra?
Yes. I'm kind of going to piggyback off of what the young lady was talking about, because right now I work with a lot of families that taking in the guardianship of children that don't belong to them. And so one of the issues is with some of the children feeling self-conscious. It's almost like a form of disclosure when they're asked questions about who you're staying with, who are you living with, and some of them are kind of still ashamed of the fact that they're not with their parents and they're staying with someone else and someone else is caring for them. So how do we actually get them to build the self-esteem and confidence to say that, hey, some things happened with my parents, so these people were nice enough to take me into their home, and trying to overcome some of the behavior, I guess you want to say the negative behavior to come with accepting where they are at the time. And because I'm dealing with some of the families like that right now, that they're kind of working back and forth with the child, but the caregivers are trying to do the best they can, but the child is still struggling. So what do we do to help the child to encourage themselves in this situation?
And I see Richard's hand up. Is that in response to what Nedra's saying, Richard? If you're talking, Richard, you are muted.
Actually, there were a couple of issues I wanted to comment on. While the conversation was going on, I jumped on the DFPS state website, and I can see where all the confusion comes from regarding locking in the state tuition waiver and whether or not that's connected to actually passing a class or not. It seems like in 2014, they changed the law and said that you had to have a passing grade in order to qualify. And then in 2017, they rescinded that provision and they said you just had to be enrolled in and complete a class. Didn't say anything about passing or failing. Again, I'm sure DFPS people will have better information when they check with their supervisors. Regarding letting youth know of the resources they have available to them, every youth in the foster care system at the age of 15 is referred to the Hay Center in this region for life skills training. A part of the life skills training is that they are given the information regarding all their benefits for being in foster care, and that includes a tuition waiver, the educational training voucher, and contacts within the colleges and universities, along with our own educational specialists that we have on staff that can help them through various issues and problems. I know that DFPS, prior to them aging out of foster care, also requires that they participate in a disciplinary staffing. They used to be called Circle of Supports. I don't know what they call them now. But during that staffing, they were also told of their educational and training benefits, how long they lasted, how to access them, and whatnot. So that's the information I have. I just wanted to go ahead and share that.
So does that also provide some form of, I guess, counseling or something like that for the child to better help them assimilate in the situation, the circumstances in which they're in? Does the waiver?
Each of the youth are assigned a case manager through the Hayes Center, who
Okay.
are referred from the state, and part of that is, they'll receive at least monthly contact, and part of that contact is, how you're adjusting to, student life, and is there anything that we can do to help you? How can we help support you? And that can take the form of, mental health counseling, or if need be, making sure that their Medicaid benefits are still activated until they're 26, so they can receive medical assistance. So there's those avenues are available and open, and I would encourage any student um, up to the age of 26, please reach out to the either DFPS or to the Hayes Center, and we can, uh, see if they're eligible for services and what services they can receive.
And probably even having, more and more groups like this, or maybe peer groups where peers, foster youth are able to meet with each other, know other people are in the same situation or going through life, and able to have those conversations as well. We are right at 2:00, and so I did want to. We have a new person in the group, Tyrell. I don't know if you're still here. But I wanted to let him share of his organization, Life Enhancement Services, if he's still on the call. I know we're right at 2:00, but we still have next month. So we'll let him talk there. But speaking of mental health and those services, that's kind of what his organization focuses on. And so that is going to be one of our topics of the month. So we'll let him share next week. We still have the all of these open shares are all of the same from the previous months. We'll just keep those going. We'll spin our wheel real quick, see what our next month's topic is. Thank you again for all of the colleges speaking and sharing your information. Okay, so this kind of goes along with what Aurelia and Nedra were saying. So common challenges during transitions, and how do we help the foster youth get through maybe the stereotype or what people is being self-conscious about being in the foster care system. So that will be our topic next week. We will be sure to get some good speakers for that. If there aren't any other questions, we'll say farewell. Looks like Vanessa from DFPS said Richard is correct. The law does state enrolls. However, we encourage the youth to take the class and pass. So we will say that's our final answer. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day. And thank you guys who are looking so fabulous in your Valentine's outfits. We will see you next month, March 7th. Oh, we're doing it a week earlier because of spring break. So it's March 7th next month. And we'll send the calendar invite. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Mhm.